happened.
Chaos erupts today after an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Good evening, I'm Laura Diaz.
And I'm Marla Tejas. Susan Hirasuna has the night off tonight. Late tonight, the FBI, Pennsylvania State Police, and other law enforcement officials held a news conference to update this investigation.
Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens of the state police said a number of threats were being investigated at the time of the shooting.
Following up on those, I will tell you that I am aware of those, and I am aware that law enforcement had responded to a number of reports of suspicious activity. The specific response to this will be all part of the after action, but yes, law enforcement was responding to check on several suspicious occurrences.
We're not prepared at this time to provide the identity of the potential shooter. We're in the process of doing the confirmation, and once we have the confirmation, we'll release the name officially to the press.
When the shooting started, President Trump grabbed his ear and then ducked. He was immediately surrounded by Secret Service agents using their bodies as a shield.
At the same time, first responders jumped into action to help those who were wounded and evacuate the crowd. Here is a map right now showing the rally location. The gunman was set up on a building near the field where the rally was taking place in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Now let's go live to Fox's Connor Hansen live in New York for more on the attempt on Mr. Trump's life. Connor?
Marla, Laura, so much new information coming out from the FBI and state police. But just minutes ago, we saw a video posted to X showing former President Trump getting off his plane after leaving the Pittsburgh area, leaving Butler, Pennsylvania, where that rally was held and where he was shot through the ear. The New York Times is reporting his plane landed in New Jersey, and that's where he'll be staying the night. He says he's okay. He's spoken to President Biden. Now, tragically, one of the people attending that rally was killed when those shots were fired, and two others were critically wounded. We're told all of those victims were adult men, according to police and FBI. But again, just terrifying and shocking video that you saw earlier of those gunshots ringing out. Take a look.
Trump could be seen reaching for his face and neck, then quickly ducking behind the podium as his Secret Service detail rushed the stage. Several loud bangs continued, the former president appearing to be injured, but still pumping his fist to supporters before he was whisked off the stage. A close-up shot shows blood coming from the former president's ear. A spokesperson for the Trump campaign also weighing in, saying, quote, President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and is being checked out at a local medical facility. Witnesses who were at the rally described the frightening moments when they realized what was happening.
Somebody started yelling, hit the ground, hit the ground. And when I looked over, then I saw the smoke from the gunfire.
Just heard pop, pop, pop. Right away you think, well, maybe firecrackers, and you're kind of stunned. And then fire, and then like return fire, and then get down. So we got down, and we huddled, and we just started praying.
President Biden addressing the nation after the shooting, denouncing the violence, and wishing Trump a speedy recovery.
The idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody.
And again, the FBI coming out tonight calling this an assassination attempt, still not identifying the suspect, though they say that could happen soon. They're even doing DNA tests there. Still a lot of questions about how that person got on a roof so close. They're diverting to Secret Service. Marla, Laura.
Thank you, Connor. Absolutely horrifying. Well, if you go to social media, lots of video is being uploaded from various sources of video going around, offering different perspectives. Now, this one going viral tonight, it comes from Nico of New York. It shows law enforcement on the roof firing shots as Trump is being shot at. We zoomed in on the roof. Chaos then ensues as the audience realizes it was gunshots, not fireworks.
Well, shortly after it happened, Trump released a statement on Truth Social. It reads this: I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America.
He took quick, evasive action, for sure. Well, a lot of reaction tonight about this assassination attempt of former President Trump.
The entire political spectrum weighing in tonight.
California Governor Gavin Newsom posting on X, he said, quote, violence has no place in our democracy. My thoughts are with President Trump and everyone impacted at the rally today.
And Congressman Adam Schiff saying he is, quote, horrified by this apparent assassination attempt. There is no place for political violence in our democracy, absolutely none. Grateful for the swift response by law enforcement and Secret Service, wishing President Trump a swift recovery.
Schiff's opponent in the Senate race, baseball legend Steve Garvey, was posting, my thoughts and prayers, and this is a quote, are with President Trump for a speedy recovery and with the families of the innocent rally supporters who were tragically affected today. We must also appreciate and thank the bravery of the Secret Service members who courageously protected the former president and everyone present.
Okay, joining us now is the host of Fox 11's political show, The Issue Is, and of course our weeknight anchor, Alex Michelson. The political impact cannot be understated because it was just yesterday when the focus is on President Biden to step down from this race, and now it's all on former President Trump.
Yeah, tonight nobody's talking about that. The Biden campaign saying tonight that they are pulling down all of their ads for the time being, all of their spending, talking about Trump, talking about this race, at least for now. And there's a lot of people that feel like this is not a time to talk about politics. But of course, in the middle of a presidential campaign, days before the RNC starts, there is a political impact of this. Donald Trump has framed this race as strength versus weakness. That's how he sees it. He has claimed that Joe Biden is weak and that he's strong. And it was amazing that seconds after an attempt on his life, when a bullet literally goes through his ear, within seconds, his first thought is, this is going to make me potentially look weak. So he gets up, puts his fist up, starts saying, fight, fight, fight. The crowd is going, USA, USA. And there's this iconic photo, which we've all now seen, of him with the American flag behind him, which is going to be all over merchandise. People are going to be holding it up in signs. It's going to be one of those pictures that we remember forever. There is that picture that we're talking about right there. And that, for especially people that are fans of President Trump, is the symbol of strength, that no matter what you throw at this guy, he gets back up and he is fighting for you. And that most likely will have a political impact. It is hard to imagine that Trump's numbers do not go up after this. And it is also hard to imagine getting back to that conversation about President Biden. This may be the thing that takes that conversation off the table and keeps Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee.
Seared forever in our memory, the image that you just described so well. But when we talk about what took place today, this was supposed to be a rally where perhaps Mr. Trump was going to announce his Veep candidate, right? So everything shifted dramatically. What do you make of what was supposed to take place today and then what happened and what goes from here forward?
Well, and that still has to happen, you know, because the RNC starts on Monday. And on day one of the RNC, you have to put the vice president's name into nomination. So by Monday, and maybe now it will be Monday, we will learn who the VP is going to be. But there's so much more that we need to learn about what happened here, including the shooter's motivation, to learn about the people, the person that was killed and 2 more people in critical condition. We'll see what happens with them, and that story will continue. But now the RNC is going to have a very different vibe over the next week. I'm sure security is going to be stepped up there dramatically. It already was really intense to begin with. And the tone and tenor is going to change. Many of the social events at that event, which is really seen as kind of a big party for the party, were canceled tonight. And so the whole thing, the whole political tone in this country is going to change in the days ahead.
Absolutely. Somber would be a good word to describe it tonight. We talked about the political impact, the historical importance of today, because today it is absolutely historical, an assassination attempt on a former president.
Yeah, and you know, the last time that happened was Ronald Reagan back in 1981. So there's now 2 generations of Americans who have never been through something like this. And you think about this moment in American history, even back then, we were so much more united as a country than we are now. The rhetoric has just gotten so nasty, with Democrats saying that President Trump is a threat to democracy itself. The nasty comments that have come from the right about President Biden as well. Maybe, just maybe, this is a moment to cool down a little bit and see a little bit of unity, because it's both shocking and not that surprising that we are at a moment where somebody would shoot at a presidential candidate, given the dialogue that we've been having as a country for a long time. Hopefully this is a wake-up call for people as well. But such a sad situation, especially for the poor person who lost their life there.
Yeah, and others who are critically injured as well.
We'll see if it sparks a debate on gun control. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, every single thing seems to spark a debate on gun control. Whether it sparks action on gun control, hard to see that coming. But it definitely will spark a debate on security for presidential events, and a big investigation on how is it that somebody's up there on a roof and able to pull this off and get that close. And I think the events going forward for both Trump and Biden, and probably Bobby Kennedy, who's now finally going to probably get his Secret Service that he's been asking for forever, going forward is going to change as well.
Well, you are going to be going to Milwaukee to cover the Republican National Convention, so you can see Alex's live reports every night right here on the Fox 11 News, and also on Good Day LA all next week. So you're going to be very busy. And
on a plane early tomorrow morning, and we'll have coverage from there tomorrow night.
Okay, stay safe.
All right, thanks, guys.
And we do have this late video just into our newsroom, posted on X by the Trump campaign. As mentioned, it shows the former president arriving back in New Jersey and getting off his plane, walking down the stairs with no assistance. This is a first look at the president since the shooting earlier today.
There are many questions tonight about how this could have happened at a Trump rally. I spoke to a retired Secret Service agent, now a private security expert, and he shed light on the shocking incident.
The Secret Service is going to do a very good job investigating this, along with their counterparts at the FBI.
Beyond that concession, and perhaps not surprisingly, he mostly focused on what went right today, not what went wrong. From here on forward, there must be changes implemented, not only the safety of the people who were at this rally, but obviously for the candidates themselves.
Correct. I mean, there's so many different layers of protection. Getting a weapon inside of that secure perimeter is very, very difficult. And so, you know, I think that, you know, from my perspective, and I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking, but it appears that the early and preliminary reports regarding the distance from where the shooter was discovered to the stage appeared to be within 200 yards. My question would be is, how was that individual not spotted by advanced teams or counter surveillance teams or even counter sniper teams, which appeared to be the individuals who took out the shooter and ended that situation very quickly.
The former Secret Service agent has many thoughts upon seeing the video of the attempt on Mr. Trump's life. Surprise, not one of them.
If you look at from the very first shot until the last shot and when he was evacuated off of the stage, I believe that in that short period of time is when he was engaged by the counter sniper teams, who did a fantastic job. The first thing that comes top of mind to me is that I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all because we have been living in America the last 8 to 10 years that has been growing ever more divisive.
Back here locally, the LAPD put out a statement this evening. It said in part the LAPD is monitoring the shooting that occurred earlier today involving President Trump. There is no known threat or connection to the city of L.A.
And strong reaction tonight from Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, who joined me earlier from Milwaukee ahead of the Republican National Convention.
It's very sad, and I hope that we do come together as a country and say enough is enough, and really start speaking truth to people and truth to power, and all of these things, and stop this. Everyone should be completely denouncing what happened today and saying stop.
The sheriff says in the aftermath of the shooting, his department is stepping up patrols and enforcement locally on the streets and monitoring online activity in anticipation of protests.
And from the law enforcement world, everyone that does anything like this, there are no freebies. You don't get a pass because you belong to a certain group. If you can speak your mind, you can do whatever it is, but when you believe your constitutional rights cross over that line and violate somebody else's, you're breaking the law, and we need to start handling it as such.
Sheriff Bianco says there are thousands of law enforcement officers in Milwaukee ahead of the convention start on Monday. He expects security to be ramped up even more so now. Stay tuned to Fox 11 and foxla.com for the latest on the shooting at today's Trump rally. We will go live to Pennsylvania again at 10:30.